I want to give that pretty blue bag that I admired at the bazaar to my cousin Laura on New Year's Day,
said Agnes Clavering, an 8-year-old girl.
That will be very good of you, Agnes, to spend a part of your pocket money like this,
replied her mother, Mrs. Clavering.
Laura is a very kind girl and cannot have so many luxuries as you.
Last year on New Year, she gave me that pretty purse. I shall buy a gold thimble to put in it, and a pretty little pair of scissors with a gold sheath, and a tortoise shell box for needles,
continued Agnes.
This will make a very gorgeous present, and I am sure that Laura will be much pleased with it. New Year's Day is only 6 weeks away,
replied Mrs. Clavering. A few days later, Mrs. Clavering and Agnes went to dine with Mr. and Mrs. Parker. Agnes saw Laura's basket and felt very glad that she knew what Laura wanted. But while they were playing, Agnes' eyes landed on Laura's shells.
Oh, what beautiful shells,
said Agnes.
Why did you not show them to me, Laura? I am so fond of shells. I did not want you to see them yet,
replied Laura.
Not till the box was full.
Agnes very much wanted to have a similar one. It was one of her weaknesses to wish to have the same toy or the same trinket that she saw in the possession of other little girls. The consequence was that her playing with the same toy never pleased her more than 2 or 3 days. This made her selfish. Her mother was vexed with her when she saw this. On her way home with her mother, Agnes said,
I should so very much like a box of shells.
I hope you would not say this to Laura,
replied Mrs. Clavering.
For you know that she always offers you whatever she has.
Oh, mother,
said Agnes, with eagerness.
I want some like them, too.
A few days later, Agnes went to the bazaar. There she saw some shells, which were so like Laura's that she began to long for them.
Can you afford it?
Whispered Mrs. Clavering in reply.
I think I can, mother,
said Agnes.
If you are sure, you can, but remember the blue bag.
But Agnes begged her mother.
I think the thimble shall be of silver instead of gold, and I never use a gold one, and why should I give Laura one?
All right, but take care that you save money enough for the New Year's present.
Oh, I shall have plenty, mother,
replied Agnes. When she returned, it occurred to her that she needed a box to put them, and she desired a carpenter to make one for her. It was soon completed, and when it came home, it was paid for. Just then a visitor called, who was accompanied by a beautiful little white dog. The little animal was very amusing and very playful. Agnes thought she never could be tired of playing with such a dear little dog. She wanted to keep the dog for a few days. So the next morning, the dog, Chloe, was left with her. But the moment Chloe saw the hall door open for a minute, it was out in the street. Agnes felt the necessity of a dog collar. Agnes begged her mother, and she told Agnes that she would get the little animal a collar. But she also suggested that the sooner the blue bag was bought, the lesser would be Agnes' temptation to spend the money set aside for its purchase. Soon, Mrs. Montague, a friend of Mrs. Clavering, called. The 3 of them took a drive to a bird fancier's, who had a large collection of canary birds. They all thought the birds were very beautiful, and that they sung delightfully. But it was rather an unfortunate outing for Agnes, for on her return home, Chloe pleased her no longer, and she told her mother,
I know a canary bird will be a much prettier pet than a rude, troublesome little dog. If I can have a canary bird,
said Agnes,
I shall not wish for anything else. I shall be quite satisfied. Do, mother, let me buy one.
Mother did not look pleased.
It's only 5 shillings,
replied Agnes.
You know, I talked of buying a gold scissor sheath for Laura, but I think a leather one would do just as well. And I shall buy the canary bird,
Poor Laura.
said Mrs. Clavering.
I am afraid she does not stand a very good chance of having any New Year's gift.
Agnes for a minute looked grave, for she saw a tear in her mother's eye. But she went on with her plans about canary birds and cages. The next day, Laura and Augusta Parker came to visit their cousin. Laura cleaned Agnes' cupboards and drawers, and looked over her maps and puzzles, and placed the right pieces in the right boxes, and she sewed in some leaves that were torn out in some of the prettiest storybooks, for Agnes was very careless with her books. Laura placed them all in nice even rows upon the shelves. Then, at last, they came to the box with the shells. Agnes said,
"Oh, leave those, Laura, they are not worth thinking about." "But I thought you were very fond of shells."
said Laura.
"Yes, I am.
Replied Agnes.
But these are nothing compared to yours."
Some more days passed. Agnes again accompanied Mrs. Montague to the bazaar. On returning home, she displayed all that she had bought to her mother.
"Oh, mother, the bazaar is filled with such pretty things."
And do you think that Laura will like these things as much as the blue bag?
"Oh, mother,
Began Agnes.
these things are not for Laura. These are for myself."
Oh, Agnes,
Said Mrs. Clavering very gravely.
you have been spending all your money upon yourself and forgotten your kind, good-natured cousin Laura.
Agnes felt very foolish, and she said,
"It was my own money, mother, and you said I might do as I pleased with it."
Yes, it is your own money,
replied Mrs. Clavering.
but I am very sorry that I have a little girl who never considers anybody's pleasure but her own.
Agnes did not feel comfortable, and she had not half the enjoyment of her new purchases, which she expected to have. New Year's Day was now approaching. An invitation to dinner arrived from Uncle and Aunt Parker. It was Laura's birthday, and the two families generally dined together on that day. On the day before Laura's birthday, Agnes felt sad and shed tears several times. Mrs. Clavering watched these emotions, but took no notice of them till the following morning, when, calling her to her side, she said,
Agnes, I think you feel very sorry that you have been so selfish, and I am sure that you have not enjoyed the variety of different things you have bought for yourself. Now, I do not like that Laura should lose a present, nor do I wish that you should suffer any more embarrassment than you have done for the mistake you have committed.
Then, Mrs. Clavering opened the drawer and took out a New Year's gift for Agnes' cousin. There was a blue bag containing the gold thimble, the gold sheath to the scissors, the tortoiseshell needle case, and the ivory winders, with a complimentary tag, with the words, "Affection, from Agnes to Laura." Agnes' little heart swelled with emotion. She threw her arms around the neck of her mother, and sobbed aloud, as she promised never again to be a selfish little girl. Oh, how grateful did Agnes feel to her mother when Laura met her. In Laura's arms was the box of shells, which she had received from her uncle abroad, and which was now quite full. Laura had denied herself everything so that she might complete the collection, and she now presented it to Agnes with a feeling of pleasure. Agnes felt ashamed and pleased, as she threw her arms around her dear Laura's neck to thank her, and presented her the blue bag.